Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q Radio. And, I haven't been here for a few weeks, so welcome to the show, everyone. This is fantastic. Look I'm back in the studio. Unbelievable as that may seem, we've had the holidays. We've had everything going on, and cross that with New Year's, my birthday, Christmas, and everything else. I just haven't got in, and the weather has been crazy. Every time I want to come in, we've got bad weather, crazy stuff going on, and you know what? It's not worth it to come in. I just do it out of the Video Sign Incorporated studio, but I like coming in the studio here because I get to see out the windows, see what's going on, who's around, what's going on. We've got a new year. Happy New Year to everybody. The weather isn't as bad as you would think. It's 30 degrees out there. A little bit humidity, 70% humidity. The barometer is sitting at 29. It was 33 this morning at 4:30 when I got up. It's probably around 29, 20 now. It has been dropping. We're looking for a little bit of snow. I thought we were going to get more this morning. We got a dusting, but nothing much, which is fantastic. So here we are. We're on January the 5th here today. And every day now we're getting 2 or 3 minutes more of daylight. Yeah, the days are stretching out. The daylight is stretching out, which is good. In another 24 days, the end of January, we're going to be at 6 o'clock before it gets dark. Before you know it, we're in February, 4 weeks, we're in March, and that's the end of winter. So all we have to do is hold our breath for another 7 or 8 weeks, and then we're out of this crap. So don't worry about it. Everything's on the right side. We're on the right side of it right now. We're moving in the right direction. So what the heck? What can I tell you, right? Relax, take it easy. We just have to put up another 7 weeks of this crap, and then we're clear. And 7 weeks goes like that, just like 2025 did. And, we're in the new year here, 2026, but I felt like I've been in 2026 for about 2 years now. I don't know. For some reason, 2025 seemed like 2026 to me. Now we're in 2026. Weird. It's like I'm in a time warp here. I'm in a time warp. Everything just keeps happening. But it's good to have 2025 out of the way. Thank you very much for getting the hell out of here. 2025 wasn't a phenomenal year. It wasn't anything to brag about. 2026 isn't going to be any better. We're going to see about the same thing. Everybody's talking big. They're talking big, and we'll talk about that. But the reality is, not much is going to change in 2026. I'm going to tell you that right now. If anything, it might get a little bit worse. Am I a pessimistic guy? Not really. I just look at the facts. And then try to decipher them and figure out what the heck's going on out there. But in Niagara Falls, it could be an open race for mayor. I've said that before, right? We know that. This is an election year. So regional and municipal elections are coming up in 2026. We got 10 months, and we're going to be in the end of October. October 26th is the election day. And we get to throw some of these people out and get some new people in here. Well, maybe. 27% turnout never really bodes well for making a change. The incumbents have the huge advantage. And tomorrow, I'm going to go through all those incumbents and tell you what I think. I'm running the gamut around the city council horseshoe, and I'm going to go to each one and tell you what I think is going to happen come October. Keep it for a record, and we'll see how close I am to what's going to happen. But I've told you what's going to happen in the mayor race here. As far as Jim Diodati, he's already campaigning. We'll talk about that in a minute because it's hilarious. But 2026 is going to be a year of turmoil because we have wild things happening all over the world, from America to Asia, from Alaska to Argentina, from Moscow to Manila, all places in between. There's so much turmoil right now that it wouldn't take much to start a world war to fire everything off. So 2026 is going to be an interesting year, to say the least. Now, because it's an election year, I'm thinking that although Jimmy King James he thinks he's running again for mayor, I'm willing to bet, and I'm saying right now that no, I don't bet. I'm not a betting man because it's too wacky in Niagara Falls to bet on elections. Who knows? But what I feel and what I think is going to happen is Mayor Jim is going to be elected as the new chair, or not elected. Nobody elects it; they gets appointed of the Niagara Parks Commission. He's the perfect guy for it. That'll leave the mayor's chair open, and then we got a race. And then I can start predicting who's going to throw their hat in that race. And probably you can predict it as well as I can. Believe me, if you've been paying attention at all, if you're awake, you should see what's going on in this city and who's going to be up there running for mayor. But I'm going to go through all that tomorrow. Now, having said that, are you thinking of running for council? Maybe some of you out there are saying, I'm going to give it a shot. I've had enough of these guys and girls. I'm going to give it a shot. Now, if you are, there's a free webinar that can help you wade through the swamp. Equal Voice Niagara, along with Women in Niagara, are hosting Government 101 on January the 13th from 4 to 5:30 in a webinar format. Apparently, you're going to learn the different levels of government. If you don't know already, I don't know. I got to say, how long the jurisdictions overlap, what kind of impact you can make. And my thing is, if you don't know all that already, you might not want to be running for city council. You have enough people that don't know that. They don't even know what they're supposed to be doing there. Several think they're entertainment directors for the city of Niagara Falls. Other ones think they're video kings. Who knows what lurks in the hearts of men and women. Now, the important part of this seminar would be finding out where to start your run. How do I start? How do I get going on this? Well, believe me, it doesn't take much for this. If you got $25 and or something like that, $100 and 25 signatures of people you know that will sign saying they want you to run, you're in. You can run. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. So you can find out how to start your run, understanding what the job entails. That one right there. I hope they're being honest about what city councilor's mandate is, because our city council seems to have it mixed up. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Hooking up with centers of influence. You got to have centers of influence. You'd better know some people, and some people that can get you voters, especially if you don't have a lot of money, and finding people that can advise you on how to run your campaign. That's right. You should have other people involved to sit down with and share ideas with, because how are you going to run your campaign? When I ran for city council, I had people saying, oh, this city council is the best one we ever had. And I'm sitting there, are you nuts? Not this one here today, the one back in 1994 when I ran. I'm going, are you nuts? Like, if they're so great, what are you running for? Why are you bothering to run? Just vote for them. You better come up with some reason that you can do a better job, or some reason that they've done a crappy job and anybody can do better. So you got to know that stuff. And it's a lot of work to run for council. People think you just throw your hat in the ring and everything else will happen. Oh, I know a lot of guys. Everybody I talk to tells me I should run. Yeah, well, guess what? All those people are telling you should run. Don't go out and vote. Doesn't matter how many people. You can have 100,000 people telling you can run. You should run. Everybody will vote for you. You're the greatest guy ever. But then they don't go out and vote. So they're useless. So yeah, you've got to run a campaign. And if you have to run at large, like in Niagara Falls, you've got a lot of ground to cover. You need a lot of money to cover that ground. And you better have a big team working with you. I mean, we're talking about a good portion of volunteers that can blanket the city for you, if you have enough money to actually print up enough printed material. And you have to battle the popularity contest in Niagara Falls. I don't think they're going to tell them that in this webinar. They're going to give them a bunch of baloney and encourage them to run. Oh, you're a woman, you should run. We need more women, or whatever the hell you are. And that's what they're going to tell you. But the truth, they very seldom tell the actual truth. If you want the truth, you got to talk to somebody who knows the truth. And in Niagara Falls, it's a popularity contest. We know that. We see the guys who sit on city council year after year after year after year, and what do? But they get elected every time. It's a popularity contest. People who couldn't even talk got elected last election. It's ridiculous, but that's what happens. The incumbents have a huge advantage. I don't know if the seminar can help you with that kind of thing. That's something you got to battle yourself and figure out, or get somebody who knows what the heck they're doing to help you out, because that's a tough one to overcome. But if you're interested, check out the webinar. You'll get some tips about everything, and it's better than not having any information. I mean, information is great. Now, you can register for the webinar at gnccc.ca/events/events 2025. So I don't know why it isn't 2026. That's the thing that was in there. But just look it up. Webinar for municipal government or something. And I'm sure you'll find something about it there. Now, I'm holding this little device in my hand, and it's called a cell phone. And this cell phone has a number. And if you want to text me a message during the show, 289-994-7560. I'm going to go to your viewer comments tomorrow. I'm not going to give any today. But if you do want to comment during the show, 289-994-7560. Cool. Send me a message. I'll get to you. Look at, there's all kinds of messages here. They have nothing to do with the show, but there's all kinds of messages here, which is pretty cool. I like getting messages from people. Yeah, they send me a lot of baloney too. But anyway, if you want to send me a text, here you go. Here you go right now. 289-994-7560. And you're good to go. So as usual, New Year's Eve was pretty busy in Niagara Falls. A lot of tourists come to town. And in the tourist areas, they were pretty busy. The weather held up and the city seemed to be crowded. There was no concert in Queen Victoria Park this year. Of course, that was lost many moons ago by the mayor. The Big Show says he's going to bring it back next year. Okay. How many years has he been saying this? Is anybody running for mayor? Are you taking notes? Yeah, Jimmy lost it way back when. He rolled the dice and thought that Global would cave into his power. We have the power, the number one rated show in Canada. Nobody's taking that away from us. And Global said, hey, it costs too much money. That was right after the big Keith Urban show, which was fantastic, by the way. And they said, we want $1 million. We want you guys to kick in a little bit here. And of course, because it was the number one rated show, everybody thought they were big shots. Keith Urban, big shots. So they said, no. And as they were going like this, they're never going to pull it. They'll never pull the show. We're number one in Canada. They're never going to pull the show. Well, they did. And then after that, surprise, the ultimatum, they told them to go stuff it. Then they ran to other stations like CHCH, tried to get them interested in CTV and other stations, and they all said, no, I'm not putting out that kind of money. And that was the end of that. Now Jimmy wants to bring it back. Yep, he's going to bring it back. Roads are closed. Fireworks blown off. So 8 p.m. and midnight, fireworks were blowing off here. The zip lines, the boat tours were running. What a show. Good time was had by all that came here. And the Big Show said next year he's bringing it back. Well, as chairman of the Parks Commission, hey, it makes sense. He may bring it back. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to have to coerce his buddies at all the hotels to do it. But I think they should bring it back. I thought it was a fantastic show. I thought the coverage was great. Maybe they can go back to Global with their tail in their hands, tail tucked, and Ask them if they want to get involved again, but this time we will put in some money for you, as everybody's making money, and put on a decent show again. Once again, as chairman of the parks, he may be able to do that. No, you're getting the picture here. I don't think he's going to be mayor again. He's saying that, and he's dicking around and making all these videos of all these different businesses in town. You think he was the galloping gourmet the way he's running around with all these restaurants and stuff. But it's all campaigning. He's campaigning right now, but I think he's campaigning for a much loftier seat than mayor of Niagara Falls. So call me crazy. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but that's what I see. Now, speaking of that, there's an old saying, I love a parade. And well, I love an election. And I love an election year. And here we are, 2026. So usually the silly season begins after everybody's been nominated and approved and everything else. But it's starting already. And I told you, King James, he's got something to say, a big announcement. King James the Weird, the Big Show, Hollywood Jimmy, and the Eclipse Man. Yeah, that guy says he's going to run for a record-breaking 5th time for mayor. Okay. Yep, it would be a record. 5th time being elected, that'd be 20 years. I mean, like, that's a career. Like, this is why we got to have term limits. This is why nothing gets done in this city. It's term limits, like, unless the province comes down with something big like the hospital and all that. I mean, we get the big projects like that. They kick in money for it and everything. And, Jim has a part of that, sure. But, really, the bottom line is what the heck was that? Oh, my sign. My sign, look at the sign behind me. I go, what the heck? And there it is. It fell. It's sideways. Your city, your voice now. Who cares? I'll fix it later. But anyway, the beginning of the silly season, and he's starting already. Oh, but you know what? Jimmy said he's going to run for mayor, but you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. He said that Global TV would never pull the New Year's show. He said there would be 10 to 15,000 people would be wandering Queen Street, attending the University of Niagara Falls. He said that there'd be 2 million people here for the eclipse. What else did he say? Oh, great eclipse! So when he speaks, photo op Jimmy. When he says anything, you got to take it with a grain of salt. He is a promoter and a marketer, so he's gonna pretty well give you the best case scenario with it. So at the end of the day, that's what you get. That's what you get. So relax. Don't take what he says to heart. He says he wants to see projects come to fruition. Well, the way this city moves on stuff, he'll be Joe Biden's age before it all comes together. He's going to be the longest serving mayor in town. He's going to be here for another 60, 40 years, 20 years. I mean, universities, GO trains, new hospitals, new airports, sewage treatment plants, new campuses, no crime, no homelessness, all the things that he complained about over the last 16 years that haven't happened. They've been getting worse. I mean, I've been waiting for the meteor crater to get developed for 7 years. And it's still there. Funny thing, the Lord Mayor of Fantasy Island wants all these things, all the peasants that pay the way. All they want is, that's us, the peasants that pay the way. All we really want is good roads, clean streets, safe drinking water, and a crime-free city. That's it. We don't need all this other crap. That's what they're paid to do. Paramount to that, accountability and transparency would be nice. Opening the books of city-funded entities would be nice, like the Innovation Hub. That'd be nice to see, wouldn't it? Is that not the job of the city council, to make sure that our money's being spent where it should be spent, not at some place that won't even open their books and tell us what they're spending it on? I don't know. What do you guys think out there? You tell me. I'm just kind of musing here. But, Jimmy leads the way. So whatever you see here, it's his. It's his. He's the mayor. He's the big guy. He's the mayor. We've seen taxes increase 25% over the last 4 years since he last got elected. Um, look for greater, even bigger tax increases as we go along. I mean, nobody cut off the police from the $4 million rackets they got going. The yearly booster, that'd be a nice campaign promise. Jimmy's, if he told us he's going to get back our $4 million, that'd be a pretty good campaign promise. I mean, that would be fantastic, actually. I mean, $4 million, then that means we wouldn't have any tax increase this year. So I still stand with my crystal ball saying Jimmy's going to be the chairman of the parks. And regardless of what he says, he's the illogical guy to run it. Bob Gale's gone now. He's chairman of the region. So the greatest show on earth, Niagara Falls, Canada, the ringmaster, let him run with it and do a good job. And I would wish Jimmy good luck in his bid to be 5-time elected mayor. But there's really not a lot of luck involved for Jimmy. With 27% of the people turning out to vote, and him having his base established of 15,000 votes or so, I mean, really, there's no luck involved. It's all predetermined. He's going to win if he runs. There's nobody that's going to get close to those numbers. I mean, somebody asked me last election, you think I can win? He was running for mayor. And my question was, well, do you think you can get 15 or 16,000 votes? Ooh, that's a lot of votes. Damn right it is. 3,000 is a lot of votes. If you don't think you can get that, you're not going to win. If you think you can, you got a shot. That's what I told him. But, when you have 27% turnout, who do you think's turning out? All the people who want to put their people in those seats. And all the people that vote for Jim want people around Jim who are going to do what they would like to have done. So all those votes for Jim are also going to select number of counselors who play ball. And money is going to those people as well from these places. Now, one candidate had 75% of her donations outside of Niagara Falls last election. Yeah, they came from Toronto in that. 75%. Why would anybody from outside of Niagara Falls give money to somebody campaigning in Niagara Falls? Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody do that? Maybe they're going to build something here and they need something passed. You never know. I don't know why. I can't figure it out, but that happened. And you just go to the city of Niagara Falls, niagarafalls.ca website. You can look at who donated to all the campaigns last election, where they got their money from, and you will see that person. I'm not going to name it here. You probably could figure it out anyway. I think I named it last time, so I couldn't figure it out. I think I said it one of my shows last year after the election, a year ago or whatever. I mean, when you look at the election of a mayor with Jimmy running, I mean, the guy who would probably have given him the best shot ran against him, and that was one Kim Crater. He's a regional councilor now, was sat on city council for many years, ran for mayor, and he got landslided. I mean, it wasn't even close. And Kim is a popular guy and has done a lot, but there's some dirty pool that gets played during elections. That happened to him, and it affected the final results. If I can dig somebody up, I'll let you know. I'd love to find somebody. And then somebody who's really good, though. You got to have somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows the game, who can do it, right? But there's not that many people around with that kind of popularity, that kind of knowledge, who can get up there and challenge Jimmy, because there's a lot of crappy stuff Jimmy did too, and city council did. So, but you got to be able to challenge him, and you got to have some ideas. What are you going to do? You're going to go up there and be mayor for what? What are you going to do? You got to tell people what you're going to do too. I know what I'd say, but that's me. Anyway, thanks to Ray Spateri of the review for the great article. And thank goodness I renewed my subscription online. That's right. I get a subscription to the review every year. I renewed it. It's not expensive. Believe me, it's cheap. And I get to see all the news of what's going on here and who's getting arrested for DUIs and who died and who lived and everything else. So it's well worth the subscription to me. I don't know about you. I don't care about reading a daily version of it. I want the online version. Okay, so he's got the big show. Speaking of the big show, we'll stick on him for a little while. He's the big cheese in the city, right? He's like I said, he's starting his campaigning early. He's releasing information to the review daily. It seems like there's something in there every day now from him, appearing in videos promoting local businesses. The Let's Go Inside. Come on, let's go inside. We're gonna see what they got here at Falls Manor. He's like a YouTube star, this guy. His latest hits for 2026, well, a new hospice center. Yep, he wants to open a hospice center. And that really surprised me when I heard there wasn't one here. And good for Jim. Good for Mayor Jim. We need one in town. I can't believe there isn't one already. That really surprised me. I always thought there was one here, but St. Catharines Fort Erie had them. Niagara Falls doesn't. I mean, it's a big deal, long overdue. So I'm glad if he's looking at that, and we're going to get that. In the last days of a person's life, when they are in pain, a hospice center provides comfort and a place where family can be with their loved ones outside of a hospital setting. I think this is something that's so important, and it's great to have this kind of service, and Niagara Falls will have it, according to Mayor Jim. And hopefully this is one of the ones that I hope that is on Mayor Jim's wish list that actually does come to fruition. It's a good one. He also says the city is spending more on roads than ever before. Wow. More than ever before. New records being set on road rehabilitation. And he said, hang tight because this is just the beginning. You're going to have more detours than ever before. And don't get me wrong, I don't like detours, neither do you, but you know what? It's a sign that things are getting done. So embrace detours. Embrace them. Hug them. When you see that, you know stuff is getting done. He's spending a whopping $7.5 million on roads. That gets you about 4 miles. That gets you about 4 miles of roads when you look into infrastructure that's got to go underneath them and everything else. You're going to do 4 miles in Niagara Falls. Oh my goodness. Yep. 4 miles infrastructure, 7.5 million. Is that really anything to brag about? 7.5 million today. Seriously. You're 25 years old and you get $7.5 million. You can't even retire. You're going to spend $1 million on a house. You're going to spend another $100,000 on a car. I mean, you're blowing that money on kids' educations and everything before you know it. At one time, that was a lot of money. For me, that would be a lot of money because I don't have that long to live. For somebody that's young that wins that, it's not a lot of money. And to build roads, oh my goodness, it's like, $1 to $2 million a mile. You're going to get 4 to 5 miles of road. And I'm going, no, here's what you got to do. You're running for mayor, get up there and tell them you're going to earmark $100 million in the next 5 years for roads. $100 million the next 5 years for roads. You're earmarking that. The Penguin's going to set it aside. And where's he going to get it? Well, I'm not telling you where he's going to get it. I know where he can get it. John Ringo Beam probably knows where he can get it too, but it's there. It's there. 20 million is no problem we could spend on roads every year for the next 5 years. $100 million, that's what I would promise. 7.5 million isn't going to do a lot. Better than nothing. Yeah, it'll do a few roads, but we need a lot more than that. Now Hollywood Jimmy says he's proud that only 4 municipalities have lower taxes than Niagara Falls. Proud? Really? I want to know why we're not the lowest. We should be the lowest, not the middle of the pack, not the fourth or fifth lowest. We shouldn't have 4 municipalities have lower taxes than us. We get $20 million a year from the casino, $250 million we've got. And we're still not the lowest? How can that be? No other municipality in Niagara gets $250 million since the casinos came into effect. Nobody else gets $20 million a year. Yet, hey, $20 million a year for 5 years is $100 million. How about that? Funny how that math worked out. $250 million, and we're fifth lowest. There's 4 below us that are lower taxes than us. I don't know how anybody can be lower than Niagara Falls when we get $20 million a year from the casino revenue. But yet, here we are. The amazing world of Kreskin. That money just disappears like David Copperfield, holding on to it. The ringmaster also says the city hall will waive development fees for the right projects, i.e. affordable housing, which translates to the taxpayers picking up the charges in subsidizing the affordable housing. Yeah, somebody's got to pay for it. We don't get those development charges. They come from somewhere. I mean, they go towards helping to put in the infrastructure and to work with these things. They're not paying that, then somebody's got to pay it. And I can guarantee you when somebody's got to pay it, that's you and me. No doubt about that. So that's something else Mayor Jim's excited about. He also says the TSR extension is going to start in 2026. That's right, the Fraudesota Road extension, the extension running from Fraudesota Road going around the Gale Center and running to the roundabout there, the roundabout of Victoria Avenue over the contaminated land. And then they're going to redevelop the Bridge Street corridor, including bus and GO train station area, getting ready for the World Cup. I guess the World Cup's not coming here. I don't know. I guess they figure all these people are going to be in Toronto. They're going to all want to come to Niagara Falls, and they're all going to take the GO train to get here. Okay, well, that's a possibility. I mean, there's another eclipse. We'll see, but the one thing I do know, the campaigning has started, and the wish list is for the mayor. Let's see if other candidates have anything to say as the year moseys on, closes in on that October 26th election date. And thanks to Ray Spiteri once again in the review with a story from Mayor Jim of what he's going to accomplish in 2026. The biggest year ever for road improvements, $7.5 million going to the roads. Okay. Let me get to my second sponsor. Oh, did I say my first sponsor? I don't think I did. Let's go to my first sponsor. I forgot about Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Maybe we'll do 2 sponsors at once because they kind of go into each other. So, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You look at the snow on the ground. You know how miserable it is out there in this weather. That's why you want to take your car to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Go see Ken Hunter. Get him to look at your car. Put it on his equipment to see if everything's running tip-top. If you have a problem with your battery, with your cooling system, with your defroster, it's going to manifest itself in this weather. You know it is. And it's not going to do it on a nice sunny day when the weather's going to go into 40 like next week. It's going to do it on the worst day of the year. Ken will take your car, put it on his diagnostic equipment. He'll make sure it's running tip-top. Make sure your brakes are good. Get those winter tires on because we know we're going to get a little bit more than this. And get your car running and ready for winter. You don't want to break down. It's not much fun. Where is he? Oakwood Drive, right next to the Kia dealership. You can't miss his place. And while you're sitting there, you may want to somehow find a ride down to Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Yeah, you can go get a nice pizza. I'm telling you, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue has fantastic pizza. They have a new location on Fraudesota Road and Kaler Road. You can't beat it. You can't beat their pizza. I'm telling you, fresh ingredients, the Mancini family recipe for crust and for sauce. They put it in the right ratios on that pizza, load it up for you with fresh toppings. Oh, hey, if you like wings with your pizza, well, they make some of the best wings in Niagara Falls. You like steak and cheese poutine. You like regular poutine. Do you like panzerotti? Do you like chicken parm sandwiches? Well, they have all that at Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue in the new location. Throw it someone at Kaler. Give them a call today, 374-2222. Pete's Pizza Victoria.ca. That's where you got to go to their website. And they also use Skip and Dine and Dash and everything else. So when you're at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and your car's there, run over to Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, get yourself a nice pizza, come back, your car's ready, you go home with a beautiful car running tip top, and then you've got a good pizza to sit there and celebrate with. And my buddy Ken, his website is wildbillsauto.ca. You just go there. You can make appointments, see all the services they provide. They run the gamut of services, safeties, the whole shot, a full body shop. You get in a wreck, they're going to fix your car. So I've got two great sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, wildbillsauto.ca, and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue and now on Fraudesota Kaler. Pete's Pizza Victoria.ca is where you go. Can't beat it. Support our sponsors. They support the show. We'll mention them again at the end of the show and their contact information. Because I forgot Wild Bills. How can I forget Wild Bills, man? That's bad. Getting old. But you know, when you haven't been in here for a couple weeks, really, I mean, you start forgetting exactly your routine. I'm sitting here hoping all the videos are working and all the radio's working okay. I don't even know. But I'll find out in about half an hour. Okay, so what pisses me off? Well, a lot of stuff, but this really made me mad. A convicted drug trafficker was acquitted of drug charges after a left-wing loony judge and two Niagara Regional police officers said, this is what the judge said, the two NRP officers engaged in racial profiling during a 2023 traffic stop. Okay, so they were racial profiling. Let's just say they were. They weren't. They pulled up behind the guy and pulled him over. How could they see who was driving? But this judge says they were. They said the reason the guy pulled the guy over wasn't because of drugs or anything. It was because he was black and cruising in a rental vehicle in a high crime area. Okay. The judge says the stop was unlawful. The 35-year-old black man was charged with 4 offenses during the stop. So they stopped him because there was some inconsistencies with his license plate or something. And they just happened to find 36.5 grams of green and purple fentanyl in the car. Enough to kill 20,000 people, by the way. And they said it was for the purpose of trafficking. Of course, he's not going to use that all himself. He's selling it. He had when they checked him out, he failed to comply with a release order. He had an open can of beer on the console of the car. And he also had 18 grams of cocaine and $1,200 cash. And he was also out on bail at the time and has a criminal record for drug trafficking, break and enter, and arson. Were the cops just lucky? They were racial profiling and got lucky here? No. The cops were following the Toyota Camry he was driving, could not even see who was driving the car, so they wouldn't have known he was black. They pulled him over because they noticed the rental sticker. So a rented car in a high crime area, cruising around. They ran the plate on the car and was registered to a numbered company. The stop was to check for license and registration, something they do when a suspicious vehicle is cruising around in a high crime area. So, yeah, out of the ordinary? No. But the judge thought it was. So he disagreed, the judge, and said it was racial profiling, dismissed the charges, and let the guy off. You know, this is why our police need $250 million in their budget. This guy should have been in jail before the stop, but no. He was out on cashless bail, just waiting to deal death to Niagara residents, and the judge let him off once again. He's back on the streets doing the same thing as he was doing before. Acquitted of all charges, dealing drugs to your kids. How nice is that? And you wonder why I get mad? This is the problem here, man. This is, our police don't need more money. They need more help. They need help from the judges and from the courts. Put these guys away and keep them there. Amazing. Amazing story. How can this happen? How can this happen? I don't know. I don't know, but it does every day. Every day. This is a thing. Gary Wilkins, I got a message here. Someone sent you a message. Who sent me a message? I don't know. Who sent me a message? I don't see no message. I don't know. Who sent me a message here? Somebody sent me a message. Who sent me a message? Nobody sent. I don't know. I don't see any message. Oh, so that's your criminal judges. That's your judges and your you're not your law enforcement. They're okay. I have no problem with the law enforcement. I have a problem with the judges and the courts and the bleeding heart liberal laws that we have. Cashless bail, turnstile justice. It's ridiculous. So, Canadians, are you going into the United States? Well, you're going to have the picture taken when you go through the border. That's right. They want to take your picture. And I don't understand why Canadians are up in arms. They're yelling and screaming on this. If we go over the States, they're going to take our picture. Do Canadians travel at all? I've had my picture taken in Cuba every time I've gone. A lot of places that take your picture when you come into the country. And they take it when you leave, too, to make sure you left. I mean, it's a common practice, I think, in most countries now as you go through customs and immigration. They want to know who's entering their country. Now, I have Nexus, so my picture is right on the card. My fingerprints are with Nexus and the government. I've been checked out by Interpol, by the RCMP, CSIS, by the CIA, FBI, Secret Service, you name it. When you get a Nexus card, that's way better than a passport. You've been checked out by every government agency. So they've got all that information on me anyway. So I'm not going to worry about them taking my picture, and I wouldn't anyway. They want to break their camera taking a picture of me? Go ahead. Go ahead. What do I care? But, yeah, I don't see what the big deal is, but everybody's yelling and screaming. I don't understand it. What the heck's this? A big horse trailer coming down Park Street? What, did they get lost coming across the border? What? They got a big horse trailer, it looked like. Oh, wacky stuff. Don't worry about it. They're going to take your picture. It goes in there. They know you're in the country. They're going to probably take it when you come back to Canada one day. They'll be doing that too, cross-checking it. Make sure you get the hell out of the country. They're looking for you. They can find you. Facial recognition all over the place. That's the way it works. That's the way it works now. Don't worry about it. Now, how about this one? Now, this is a really good one. The world's wacky right now, Iran lists the Canadian Navy, whatever that is, as a terrorist entity. I mean, can you imagine? Like, we have one destroyer, and they're calling it a terrorist threat to Iran? Where is this destroyer? Is it in the Middle East, cruising around? How do they even know we have one? Apparently, Iran passed a law in 2019 after the U.S. designated the IRGC a terrorist organization and authorizes reciprocal action against countries that follow Washington's lead. And that's Canada. Because we protect terrorists. I don't understand why they do. We protect terrorists. Why are they mad at us? And the Navy of Canada, whatever that is, falls under the scope of this new law there. Ergo, the Navy is being labeled a terrorist entity, the Canadian Navy. I mean, here's what we have. I looked it up because I thought, what do we have? Like one ship or something? No, we have 12 frigates, 5 Arctic patrol ships, 12 coastal surveillance ships, 4 submarines that don't work, 8 training vessels, and that's it. That's our Navy. And I think most of them are probably Coast Guard. They call that part of the Navy, I guess. I mean, none of these ships could fight a battle. Let's face it. Come on. The cartels have more power, more submarines and boats than we do. But we're marked by Iran, terrorist entity, our Navy, terrorists, and they're watching for us. They're watching for us over in the Middle East. And speaking of Iran, the whole country's in a revolution right now. I don't know if you've been watching this develop, but everybody's freaking out in Iran. They want to get rid of this government that's sitting there. Khomeini is gone. He's fled to Moscow. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah of Iran, if you remember him, I do, is now making a move to take over the country as he calls for regime change, and protests all over the country look like that is exactly what is going to happen. And soon as the Khomeini regime is about to collapse. So they're going down fast in Iran. The son of the Shah of Iran wants to take over, Reza. And it looks like he's probably going to end up doing it. It's only a matter of time before everything collapses there. They're in big trouble, Iran. And now they were threatening again wage war on the U.S. and everybody. But I mean, if they tried that, the states will just send the B-52s in and take care of them again, right? Or not the B-52s, the B-1B Spirit. I think that's what they're talking about. But or the B-2 Spirit, whatever it is. But the thing is that Trump is the best because he says, I really don't want to send those stealth bombers over there and waste all that money on fuel to get them there and back, 37-hour mission. He goes, I wish they would just settle down and this guy would take over. We don't have to get in there and do anything. He goes, if we will, we'll do it. But I'd rather not spend the money on fuel to get over there. So Trump will send them if he has to. Don't worry about that. There's one thing about Trump. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. And we're looking at Venezuela now, what happened over the weekend. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Somalian fraud network in Fraudesota is really starting to blow up. Not only did they rip off Minnesota government for billions of dollars with Tim Walz's knowledge, but they ripped off the feds as well, and that's where they're in trouble. Now they're all going to be arrested. The feds cut off all funding to everybody in Minnesota. And if you want money from the feds for school or for whatever, you have to go and prove that you should be getting it because the Somalians have ripped off billions of dollars. And it was blown open, the story, by a 23-year-old social media journalist named Nick Shirley. Other internet social media journalists are running with that ball. In Columbus, Ohio, the city with the second largest Somalian population next to Minneapolis, they found that buildings that are supposed to be daycare centers registered as other businesses. And their daycares, they're not even open. All they are is a daycare in name only. There's no building, nothing. And they've been grabbing millions and millions from the government for this. And this guy was there investigating in Ohio, in Columbus, and he was asking neighbors, like, that's supposed to be a daycare center. And they go, well, that's never been a daycare center. Have you ever seen any kids here? No, there's never been one kid here. They go, these guys who run anything go in the back door. We don't even see them. But they're registered and receiving state and federal funding. So Columbus, Ohio is going to be another one. A restaurant in Minneapolis, called Safari, seats 35 people, claimed to serve 18,000 meals a day to hungry children. And the government, the federal government and the state government was kicking in for 18,000 meals a day to children that didn't exist. The meals didn't exist. It's gone. It's gone. The money's just gone. And that's one of the examples of the fraudulent businesses. There's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them. There's healthcare centers in Massachusetts in a town with 30,000 people or something like that. There's like 160 healthcare centers, all getting money from the government to operate, treating these refugees and these illegals and everything else. Now, Walt said that it's white supremacists attacking these hardworking Somalians. The same ones that Ilhan Omar said built America. Yeah, Somalians built America. Did you know that? Somalians built America. Yeah, they did. And they're looking at them in Massachusetts and California as well. The fraud in California is going to exceed $100 billion. It's the biggest. I mean, this is the biggest fraud in U.S. history. And they're the tip of the iceberg, these ones. Every scheme involves children that don't exist. All of them share the scam, helping each other to scam the state and federal governments. It's amazing. So all these Somalis come over, they get paid by the government for food and lodging and everything else. And on the side, they're scamming the government with these fake businesses and everything for millions of dollars. And it happens in Ohio, Massachusetts, California, New York. They're being uncovered all over the USA. And the poor, hardworking taxpayers foot the bill. They have nothing. They can't afford their houses, can't afford their rent, can't afford anything. And these guys are just taking their money and using it to buy Porsches and everything else. They found a way to tap into the government. Nobody checks on them, not Tim Walz, not anybody. And just kept sending them checks for kids that don't exist. And don't think we're immune from that in Canada. I can't even imagine the fraud that's going on in Canada because there's money being given to people everywhere, especially in Canada. All these refugees and that, they're all getting money. I'll guarantee you there's the same thing going on here. This isn't just in the United States. It's happening. I guarantee you it's happening if somebody investigated. They steal from us. They get free money. They tax our public systems, our health system, our housing, education, you name it, we pay for it. And it's got to stop. And I don't know who's going to look into it in Canada. Somebody's got to look into this. Some Nick Shirley of Canada should be looking into it. We'd be well to do the same thing and take a real close look at where this money's going. Any money that's going out of anywhere, I don't care if it's region, city, we've got to watch it. We've got to make sure that all the boxes are checked before we give out money. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. There's people who are stealing, and that's all there is to it. They'll get caught eventually, but taxpayers are the ones who always end up paying the tab because they'll never get the money back. They'll never get the money back. So the big news on the weekend was Trump carrying out a large-scale attack on Venezuela. Early Saturday morning, I've been waiting for this. I've been talking about this, that it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. U.S. Special Forces went into Venezuela, captured dictator President Nicolas Maduro, the narco-terrorist, along with his wife, drug him back, put him on the USS Iwo Jima, loaded him back to Florida and then New York, drug him back to New York, and now they're under indictment. They're going to face courts. They're going to be in the courts. And that's it. Caught a narco-terrorist sending fentanyl, cocaine, leader of a cartel, drug cartel in Venezuela, President of Venezuela illegally. So he's gone. He's gone. And Trump gave him every way out. Talked to him many times, telling him, "Hey, listen, you can get out of here if you want. You can leave. Just leave the country, and we'll run it." And that's what Trump's doing now. They went and got him. They went in, blew a couple buildings up, snatched him out of his private residence or the presidential palace, wherever they got him. But no matter where they got him from, they got him out of there before he had a chance to vamoose. And now the way is paved for Maria Corina Machado to return to Venezuela, although his vice president has taken over after he got sent to the Huzgau. But the problem is she's becoming a big mouthpiece now. She's going to carry on what he started. And, that was part of the thing that she won't. And Trump said, "You better not, because if you do, we're coming to get you too." And then she backpedaled a little bit and said that, oh no, she's going to work with them. And I'll read you a statement anyway from her. Told reporters she's going to carry on Maduro's government at first, saying he's the rightful leader. And Trump will face opposition if he tries to run the country. She is very, very defiant. Pretty defiant for somebody whose president was just snatched right out of his house and taken to trial in the United States. But after she said all that, she lost her nerve and she backtracked, saying that she would like to see peace. She said, "We invite the U.S. government to collaborate with us in an agenda of cooperation oriented towards shared development within the framework of an international law to strengthen lasting community coexistence. President Donald Trump, our peoples deserve peace and dialogue, not war." And it's hilarious because, of course, all the left-wing loonies, they all fall for this baloney from her. I mean, Russia, China, and Cuba did not respond immediately to the statements that were made. And the they're calling it a kidnapping, the left-wing loonies, but the arrest, let's call it the arrest. Iran chimed in, calling it a blatant violation of national sovereignty and territorial integrity, and urged the UN Security Council to intervene to stop the unlawful aggression. Sorry, but this isn't any kind of a move against a sovereign country. You're replacing or you're going in to arrest somebody who's been indicted in 2020 for running drugs, being a drug dealer, running a cartel. It has nothing to do with Venezuela. It has everything to do with the cartels, the drug cartels, and terrorism. And it's funny that all these left-wing loonies are crying about Trump going in there and getting this guy. Think about it. I mean, Obama went in. He entered a sovereign nation to kill Osama bin Laden. Remember, they're all sitting around the TV going like this? Meanwhile, it wasn't even the guy, probably. And he sent in troops to kill Gaddafi. Oh, yeah, they went right into Libya and killed Gaddafi. And Biden took out al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. Right? They all did that. Sovereign nations, no problem if they do it. They do it, not a problem. But if Trump does it, of course, because of TDS, they're all up in arms about it. But believe me, Venezuelans all over the world are happy. They're relieved. They're going to get their country back. Celebrations have been going on in Miami since the capture took place. They're going to have legitimate elections with the U.S. running the country until that happens. U.S. oil companies that had their oil refineries snatched when Chavez nationalized them all and took them and threw out the Americans and stole their oil companies. They're going to get their property back and start producing oil, which is going to help the people of Venezuela, not the drug cartels and the legal dictators and his cronies. They're not getting any more money from it. It's going to be going to the people of Venezuela. And the American companies will go in and develop it again after they nationalized it and ran it into the ground because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. So that's going to be good when they get in there. Not so good for Canada, though. Not so good for Canada. We'll talk about why tomorrow, but this is a bad, bad nightmare for Canada. Their oil is worth nothing now, Canada. The United States has all the oil they want. They don't need anything from Canada. They got all the Venezuela oil, and they have the biggest reserves in the world. What are you going to do now with your elbows up there? Carney, what are you going to do now? We'll talk about it tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in Venezuela. I mean, this vice president better toe the line, or she's going to be the next on the plane heading to New York City and facing a trial as well for aiding and abetting him. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. And then you have the Colombian president and Cuba mouthing off. They're getting their armies together. They're getting ready to fight the U.S. because if they try to come into our country and do that, we're gonna get them. Cuba and Colombia. And Trump says, "You don't relax. We're going to be in there taking care of you too." And I was watching the UN Security Council meeting this morning, and they're yelling and screaming about this, about taking a terrorist, getting him out of the gang. And I heard a couple of them speak. But a lot of them are treading on water now, especially these Central American countries like Panama and that. The guy from Panama was there, and he was talking about sovereignty and blah, blah, blah. But he really wasn't saying anything about getting rid of cartels or getting rid of Venezuela's dictator leader. He was pretty happy that happened, even though he really couldn't celebrate it because the UN is going to come down on the United States. But you know what? Trump don't care. Trump will tell them all to get lost. And the UN's useless anyway, so no big deal. No big deal. That's it. That's all I got for today. I'm done. Tomorrow we'll take a closer look at the election, all the players that I think are going to be there, and some of the ones who I just guess might be running. We'll take a look at the key players, and I'll have comments from viewers. If you have any comments on anybody sitting on city council right now, what you think they're going to do next election, let me know. Let me know. Give me a message. 289-994-7560. If it's not during the show, that's fine. Let me know what you think. Who's running and who's out next time? I'm going to tell you tomorrow all about it. So I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody. Great to be back in the studio. God bless you all. Support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you go to their websites, wildbillsauto.ca and Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca, and you get all the information you need. Grab yourself an oil change. Grab yourself a pizza. You can't go wrong with these guys. They're good corporate citizens. They do a great job for the city. Take care, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This video will be up by about 3 o'clock if you're listening live and you want to see the video. Otherwise, I'll be back at noon tomorrow. Promises made, promises kept. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice on an angle, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and I'm going to shovel a little bit of snow that fell this morning after this. See you later. Have a good one.